Wow, that was a quick abrupt ending there, Eddie. How are we doing today? Your mic's off.
Check.
There we go. We're good. Guys, welcome to another episode of the NBA Insiders. Super stoked. I'm watching the viewer count already skyrocket. Messages already coming in before we went live. Super stoked on it. And all I can say is thanks. And I hope you guys are going to enjoy today because I know I am. And I love to see everybody already checking in from around the country. V-Dub Life out of Texas, Lucas Han at Arizona, Darren Zumpson out of Johnson Valley, Alex Thompson out of Mexico. It's already cool to see you guys chiming in, some of the first. But, man, super excited for today. I'd already said that, but I've got Hall of Fame, Off-Road Hall of Fame inductee Marty Fiolka with me. I've got Ryan Rodriguez, Class 11. We're uniting. We're hanging out. We're going to talk everything Crandon, what's cooking, what's cracking. We're going to show you a little bit of inside snippet from the show, from the race and the events, and coming off an awesome weekend, bug-in, beat-up treffing. Just everything was awesome, car show-wise. We got drag day around the corner, but, man, we've got to get going. We're going to talk to these guys, hang out. I know Eddie's got some questions from some dudes, and hope you guys like some of the new camera angles and some of the stuff we're setting up. But you guys get those questions ready, get it, let's going. And I don't even want to wait any longer. Let's get to it. So if you guys do me a big honor, let's welcome Marty and Ryan with us today, hanging out and talking some cars, man.
Talking Volkswagens, one of my favorite things. So yeah, it's nice to be here.
What's up, man?
What up, dude?
The dude is man of few words. Lets his driving speak for himself. And man, it's just awesome to finally sit down and hang out and just recap, man. What a hell of a weekend we had.
Definitely
felt like an eternity at times, but
the whole weekend or week before, whole month before is a flash. Basically, we're at Crandon, we're having fun, and the next thing I know, I'm on the way home. Like, what happened? It was so much fun. And
I mean, Marty, all I could say is thanks for basically having the cods on you to take a gamble with a couple of knuckleheads and a dream to do something major for the sport, and I thank you for that.
Thank you. No, it's all about the fans for us. I mean, it's all about the fans. And yeah, when I kind of came up with the idea, I really didn't actually. All goes way back to the first gas race. I think it was Jason Zandrowski that called me. He said, "Hey, we should think about doing this. Bring Class 11 to Crandon." I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm going to bring it to Crandon as a promoter, I got to have a show. I can't have 2 or 3 cars show up. This is the world championship, so you can't do that. Yeah, we had a record just over 59,000 people for 3 days there. So we way blew away our numbers from the past, even from the 50th. So big weekend. But going back to that, Jason, I said, I don't know about that. And then I think I talked to Mr. Wilkie at one point.
Yeah,
and he kind of was open to it, but it really wasn't until I got to Anago and sat down with our friends from Marco Ribello from Continental, who said, "Hey, we should do this, and we're going to back getting these cars back here." And once I had that, and then I came talk to you, Corey, to kind of help co-brand this thing, we were able to get the race count number up where it needed to be, and then it was on. There was some flack from some people like, "What are you doing, bringing stock Volkswagens here?" But all I care about Friday, the first time you guys came down the front street, and all those kids were so excited out. We had a packed hill Friday night under the lights, and that's all I needed to see was that.
Yeah, I think the response was, I mean, just as an outsider looking in, I've never been to Crandon. I mean, this was just wow, and to take it all in was amazing, and to see, I videotaped and everybody posting up their lawn chairs to stake claim on the general admission, and it's like a sea of them, and people don't realize that's probably 30,000 seats right there, just staked off of friggin' lawn chairs.
Yeah, it's crazy when you're on turn 1. You just look to this crowd and it's full for it looks like a mile, just packed full of people, shoulder to shoulder. It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to race. I was up in the booth, but I mean, as a racer, and you've gained some momentum getting into it. So, how did it feel?
I mean, turn 1 was awesome. I mean, we're door to door, 10 cars pretty much all bunched up together, and you're fighting from the wall or getting a tire in your door. You're trying to keep it together and get on to get into the lead,
I mean, why do we got to talk about tires in the door? Like, this guy's got both of the MP team cars tattooed with his doors on there. But
yeah, turn 1 is something special. If you've never been to Crandon, we're the only track that has a land rush start. So we start them side by side, and then you go into turn 1 that the crowd can't see. They can hear it, but they can't see it. And even, it doesn't matter if it's you guys or 950 horsepower, Pro 4s, they come into the stadium basically, and it's a crazy corner. And you definitely have to kind of sack up to go through it.
Even with 80 horsepower, you still got to sack up because those jumps, they looked gigantic compared to what we're normally used to seeing.
Yeah, the one back one we put in was pretty tall. The one at the back straight there by the hospitality suites is pretty. First time I looked at it, like, ooh, that's kind of a step, and you guys were just flying over that thing.
Yeah, that step down is pretty fun.
Yeah,
it was on practice. It was a little rough because I don't think the course was groomed. But Friday, man, that track was perfect, and you just hit everything as wide open as you can, and the car would take it.
That's the surprising part for me. I would have thought guys would have broken something.
Everybody was like, shocks. "Oh, how many kidney belts you got to wear?" Like all these comments we've seen them, some of the video clips we've been shared. It's like, man, these cars work the heavy desert cars work way better on some of this stuff. You got, you're young, so you can take a little bit more abuse, but
yeah, it's not rough like the jumps or the track. It's more whiplash than anything. I think coming down on the jump, Marco and I, we stuffed it pretty good, and you see the GoPro footage, our head just slam. Yeah. And we hit Timmy too, man. You see,
Timmy's watching.
It's funny.
Yeah. I believe actually Timmy chimed in earlier. So guys, Tim Sletton Engineering, driver of the 1103 car, but says, make sure Ryan doesn't flip anything in your office. So already starting early, but it's all about having some fun. That's one of the things that honestly, Marty, I'd like to just personally thank you, because the class 11, we talked about it in the booth a little bit, is kind of like the dysfunctional family to a lot of realm. And this event really brought us together in the mass, just for 17 teams to be there, to break bread together, to share in the spoils of victory amongst each other, but also in the defeat of, kicking rods out the top of it. But everybody came together. Didn't matter what you needed. All the boxes were open. Impy had the parts for you there. And if Impy didn't have it, one of the other racers did. And that's really what it was about. And we owe a huge thank you to that, because it really was like a group therapy session, because a lot of shit got squashed. I mean, it really did.
Well, luckily, or maybe unluckily, I had so much going on. I didn't have much time to squash much. There was a couple of things I had to kind of go in and fix. And it was really great because I could drive into your pit area there and immediately start talking to one guy. Then everybody would start gathering around, asking questions. There were still some things we thought we had it pretty well laid out. Apparently we had some things that we had to still straighten out, but overall, I mean, we still had, everybody had to remember, I invited the class 11 guys to show up to Labor Day, which is the big show, but you don't understand Crandon until you go to the show and you see that we had 408 race teams there. We ran 42 races, all of it live streamed. Parade was live streamed. I mean, all the things we did, the poker on Thursday, everything, the concerts, and then Saturday night, under the lights, the Ultra 4 guys in the back. That was amazing.
That was a freaking awesome show. I mean, we're standing at the bed of the rigid truck, just watching it. I mean, those things put on a bitchin' show.
Definitely. I was kind of busy pulling the motor out of my car Friday night, but
we'll tell you all about
it. Yeah. Well, but it also goes back again. We're in the business of show. We're in show business. So what is going to make fans excited? Night racing always does. You guys being there was a whole, and the goal was always to kind of, Crandon has always been like Switzerland. That's not since I've been there. And even when we had 2 series, we still had World Cup Sunday to brought the West Coast guys to come and race. Everybody should be able to race at Crandon. I may have to extend the week out a little bit more, but I think we did for what the time we had and the amount of races we had. I think we pretty much hit our marks. It was luckily the weather cooperated, because that's always the problem there. But yeah.
Now, when it comes to weather, do you guys just push it to like Monday or Tuesday, or what happens?
We've never pushed to Monday. We've been lucky, but we can run at night now. We had lights before. Now we really have lights, so we can go later if we need to. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes sometimes in the past we've actually had to eliminate a day of racing for the short course guys too, because we only do it for one day. But we're getting better at it, and like I said, we have more flexibility now. But it's still, we're still racing all the Ultra 4 classes, you guys, and then all the Champ Off-Road classes too. So that's a lot of racing to get done.
Yeah, and it's neat too. You actually made this class a pro class, which is like, you felt like King Dingaling there for a minute, and you go out, you're like, dude, I get to race on Sunday at like the holy land of short course racing. Not just then, but on Labor Day, like the big show. It's the Super Bowl.
It's Sunday is the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, it's always a good show, but Sunday special, we keep it that way. We've had lots of support from Red Bull and Lucas Oil now, a lot of to make it bigger, make the. I mean, look, great story out of Sunday, great story. So I'm walking around after Friday night, and one of the local business guys comes over and goes, "Hey, I want to those class 11, those Volkswagen things. I'm like, yeah, he goes, I really like those. I'm like, yeah, they're cool, huh? He goes, are most of them from the West Coast? I said, yeah, a lot of them are. They made a long trip. He goes, I'm going to put 2,500 into the purse just because I want to. Don't tell him who it was. So we got to put 2,500 more into the purse because the local business guy loved it so much for Sunday. So all that kind of thing was just, you roll the dice, man. You're just like, but I watched King of the Hammers. I watched the live stream and it looked like a lot of fun. I wasn't too concerned about once they got there and people got to see him. And, I watched the social media kind of on the way out with the cars and the trailers and just the response. And I can just imagine, like I said, going through Kansas or wherever you guys went through those things in the back. Nobody's seen one Volkswagen in a month. I mean, never mind 7 or 8 of them.
Exactly. When you're rolling across the United States with 7 Volkswagens in the back, you get a lot of looks. And
it doesn't even do it justice. They could see. So you guys probably saw some of the photos that were shared through social media, but Ryan and his dad Chip were responsible for dragging, was it 13 cars here from Southern California essentially, and picking up the transients along the way, and it just made for like one of the most shared photographs that we've seen in a long time of the cars. Like the open trailer with 7 cars on it, and just amazing, and it makes for a hell of a good game of slug bug on it.
Oh yeah,
wailing on your sister or something in the back seat. But
I could see some little kids in black eyes behind us.
Oh yeah. But I mean, kudos to you guys. I mean, we really put this together, final touches within a few weeks.
Yeah,
and I think we did a damn good job. You guys did a phenomenal job getting everything going. But I mean, just imagine what we can do in the future with it. But just being able to, the logistics of it all, getting. God, I know you were dead. I mean, shout out to you because you came here, loaded up 3 cars and a giant pile of stuff,
dude. Yeah,
and then had to go unload everything at the house to get it all ready to go and separate it and keep it safe. So,
yeah, loading everything, man. That was a tough one. Luckily, I had some friends over, and my dad and Dennis and Tyler. We all loaded everything, Noah, and I couldn't do without him. And luckily at the track, loading everything back up, everyone was there to help, made everything nice.
It was so cool. And then, like I said, to be creative enough to put some money in transport, to make it all work, to get guys there. Cause again, this is and I gave a shout out to custom coach work. This is a working man's class.
Yep.
And not everybody's got the big money race teams to the haulers or the benefit to just grab their stuff and roll. So, you came in clutch, man. And again, a lot of that stuff's paid to you. So I appreciate everything you guys did.
Yeah, I'm super happy. I'm glad to do it. And I can say thanks enough to Marty, Crandon, Continental Tire, and you guys. You guys helped out a lot. And without any of you guys, this wouldn't be able to happen. So thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty creative how we got that done. But the one thing too is that I always look at Crandon operates as a not-for-profit organization, right? It's a club. So it's for me, it's all about putting on the world's best show and putting on the world's best off-road race, and we're right there. And I think with anybody else, and we've with the promoters in this country have stepped up. I mean, the Dave Coles have ramped up my game. Matt Martelli has at the Min 400. Conversely, I've done them. I mean, we just this is where we're at now. These big mega events, and it's always been big. But when I first got there, it was not what it is now. We've stepped up the attendance, the sponsorship, the prize package, everything. We've given over $1.2 million away now on World Cup Sunday since we started in 2016. So, but it's an expensive sport, and but everybody puts on a great show, though. That's for sure.
It was really neat though, just to be like, oh, we get to go on before the pro guys go on and warm up the track a little bit for it. I think that's just so cool. And like, for those of you guys who are watching and will watch us later on YouTube, I mean, I really challenge you. I know VW Life, we got a little project coming up, guys. Like, if you're going to do this, do it now, because I know there's a lot of old racers out there that have been doing this stuff a very long time, a lot longer than I've even been around. And they had its heyday, right? You're at the infancy stages of a heyday right now. And I think you're going to be in an opportunity to enjoy this for several years to go while it's still early. And I think this class is just going to explode because it's just too much damn fun. It's super affordable to go racing. And I mean, oh, you break a ball joint. Well, here's $6. Go get a ball. You know what I mean? Go get a ball joint. Like, and I don't know what else could you say to just about the class?
And it's pure fun. Like you said, once you have your car, it's pretty low maintenance for the most part. All depends how hard you drive your car, going through fenders and doors and bodies.
Noses.
Front ends. That can take some time and some money, but it's all worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, fenders are a consumable thing. I mean, again, and a lot of people ask about the rust and like, especially out in your area.
Yeah.
Like, hey, guys, you're not building a show car, right? You're building a race car. You got a little, some 20 gauge steel, go to town and plate some stuff up. Do what you got to do, but do it. Just do it.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be no show car, like you said. It, as long as it's full bodied and everything's most of the way bolted down, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And luckily you guys sell all the replacement panels, fenders, and aprons. So
that's what we really strive for. Like, that's why this class worked out and made so much sense for us to do, is because you can build 98% of that car from our book. The only thing that you can't get in our book right now is shocks, radios, and a fuel cell. Other than that, you can build the car from our book, and that's pretty cool, so
it's funny because it's funny because my race team was watching it too. I have a group that I've raced with since 1990, and we run Nord every year, and our cars all air cooled stuff too. And first call I got from Rhonda Wolf, my buddy, is like, we got to think about building one of those. I'm like, oh, yeah, we have 2 or 3 other cars we're finishing now, but it would be fun. He started looking at, it's not that hard. We built one before at Dirt Sports, and we built obviously a completely insane one, but still it'd be fun to do.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I mean, there's a lot of ties here too with Marty and Impy. I mean, there's the Dirt Sports car, and you guys have seen that was in early advertisements in what year was that?
It was 2007 when there was a 50th and 40th anniversary for the Baja 1000.
Yeah.
So we built the car that actually ended up being in your booth at SEMA one year, and we built the Class 11. Then we kind of said, well, let's build it. Let's build it as a Nora car, and we put a 2110 in it in a bus box and carbon fiber door panels. And I mean, we went, it was trophy truck style dash. We went like to town on beautiful paint scheme, beautiful. It was all MP inspired. And, it was one of the highlights of my career, having the car at the SEMA show looking like it did. It was pretty special.
Yeah. And it's crazy now that car is owned by Rugged Radios.
Yep. Greg
which is their, they call it their elf car now. So
yeah,
it's just,
well, it was always the elf car,
yeah.
But yeah, so we sold it. We got it, and then I think JT Taylor bought it, had it for a while, raced it at Nora too, and then Greg at Rugged bought it, and he made it all beautiful again.
It's definitely pretty.
That's a show car. It'd be a shame to race it today.
Somebody was asking me about today. What are we going to do about, Greg's cars? Like, if Greg's going to jump in this, he'll just build a new car because his stuff's way too nice.
Yeah.
And not class legal, but it's still nice stuff. And love to see him out there, man. Like who do you see in the future, Marty, kind of jumping into the sport as far as big brands or big companies or even just big name racers?
You mean into this class?
In Class 11, yeah.
I think what I could see is either we set up like an enduro style race where maybe it's a 45-minute race or an hour race where the first half is the Class 11 guys, and then we put the pros in there, let them go at it, have a break. Dude, that's one way to do it. I can also see the pros kind of looking at each other like, yeah, we ought to build one of those. I can see that happening. It's still not, we're starting to see that now. I think you mentioned before that we're getting some calls. I'm getting some calls.
Yeah.
About next year when you talk about that too. But it did exactly what it was supposed to do to me. It got West Coast people who never thought they could ever come to Crandon and race there, and be part of the big show. And I saw all the big eyes because you had been there in June. That's a good race, but it's not Labor Day. And then everybody, like you watching even the Pro 4s versus the Pro 2s and the camping and the concerts it's just a whole thing. And I'm almost out of 400 acres. I'm almost out of space, which is crazy.
You can't really explain Crandon unless you're actually there. It's so much fun. Like, I think I had the best time of my life. Just the whole road trip out there with my dad and friends and racing in front of all those people, man. It was so much fun.
It was, the first time I went there was like 1997. I was a Nissan Motorsports rep, and we had a road and track story we were doing. So it was Andy Bornhoff from Road and Track, Boyd James, who's this great photographer, one of my best friends, and I went, and we had access to Art Schmidt's Pro Light team, and he gave us a golf cart and said, "You guys have fun." And I remember like what I do remember, but yeah, I remember afterwards thinking that was like the most fun weekend ever. These people, the Midwest people, are different. This is their Labor Day tradition. They're going to go all out in everything they do, from buying shirts to drinking to having a good time, camping, whatever they're doing. It's a totally different. Even for a short course race, if you've been to Lucas Series and stuff, it's not anything like that at all. It's a completely different animal.
Yeah, I touched on it last week's show a little bit, just saying like it really is completely different than anything I've ever been to as far as a race or event out here. I mean, first of all, the Midwest hospitality is phenomenal. It didn't matter who you are, where you are, or what you are. you're welcome to stop, ask for a beer or a soda or a pop. And there's always some fried cheese curds going in somebody's pit. And I mean, you were just welcomed in with a hearty handshake and a hug. And if you needed something, you needed something, but feel free to fill up and head out. And then obviously everybody likes to have a good cold one in that part of town. And just it was just awesome. And I can't put into words. And the whole purpose of the show is to hopefully who's ever watching the show, it's lighting a fire under your ass to get ready, because it's going to be amazing in the future of this class.
Yeah, we we've already gotten enough feedback and enough goodwill from for instance from Hempy and from Continental to come back and do it again. So we're going to do it in 2022.
You hear that right now, guys? You heard it first.
Start building your cars
from the man himself.
Yeah.
Class 11, Crandon, 2022 going down. So all you guys that are on this feed, and there's 100 and some of you guys watching right now that are all on the live feed that I can just see on this one. I know many of you are building a car, want to build a car, or thinking about building a car. If that doesn't give you entice and motivation enough, because you sat at home on your asses and watched everything go down Labor Day weekend, if you want to be part of the show, build it, man, because I'm excited, man. I don't even know what else to say.
Yeah, we're excited to have you back. Actually, I've got some pretty cool plans. We started out in an area, we had to expand our pit area. So you guys are over there with the Ultra 4 guys, and that's fine. But the one building I have that I want to convert now, which we're going to convert next year, we're going to set up a European style repair shop right in the RC pavilion that you guys were at. Have some cars on display there, make it a little bit bigger, and then we're going to add my plan is to add a beer garden next to that, because we European style beer garden too, because we need a little more beer.
Oh, yeah, just so this place needs more beer.
Well, we need
only place I ever seen before that sells by the case. I've never seen that.
Dude, you're walking around at the after party. The guys have 12 packs holding around. You got Icy walking around handing each other White Claws, and man, it was a good time.
Well, you got to rat out our dude on live radio. Come on.
Hey, we didn't. I didn't see any of the moonshine broke out, but it was out there. I can tell you that. It was
delicious.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm stoked. First of all, like that. I mean, that spot that we have, like on manufactured midway, but right next to the Monster Energy Ditto booth with Healy and all that stuff was right there. Very cool spot. I'd love to see the whole horseshoe of the entire class be there. So let people find that niche, right? That's one of the things that I loved about just even running a colored buggy whip, because you get that bond with that child.
Right.
And if that, as a dad, if my child enjoys that, I'm going to make sure that they're going to want to come back, because it's easier way to go to the races when your kid likes it. And I want to pick that color bug or the pink bug like Cisco, or I like the pumpkin, or I like, whatever it may be. But I think that's right there, and you can get attachment to it. And I know I put a bunch of kids in my car over the weekend. I'm sure you did as well. So
all our cars are different, and it attracts multiple people.
Yeah, like I said, space is a problem right now. But
come on, Marty, you got 400 acres. Carve out a little bit for the class.
I did, but no, I think having a showpiece special like that. I know when I talked to Continental about it, they were excited too. It's like, yeah, we can do that, and then got some other sponsors interested in jumping board. It's all about the experience for these guys. For the guys, if you're gonna come make the trek to Crandon, hang out with us back there. It's a long way, so we better make it worth your while. So that's why I look at it. But that's the same for every race. That's the same for everybody.
Well, I want to reiterate that, guys. If you didn't pay attention to what the man just said, Class 11 is going to Crandon in 2022, and I talked about this before the show. I think we're going to get 30 cars. I would not be surprised at all if we're 30 plus cars out there, and I want to still land rush to start the whole damn thing.
Oh yeah, we have to do that.
2022 Crandon World Cup for Class 11.
Yep.
And guys, get your cars ready from Mexico, from around the world. This is the World Cup.
Yeah, we'd love to see some cars come from down south.
I would too.
We know there's some cars being built. I mean, we were just spitballing who's got extra cars and who's already thinking. We counted 10 cars already that are already there in existence or already in process.
Yeah, I mean, my dream would be to get some, because it's a world championship, is to get some teams from Ensenada and Tijuana and Mexicali to come. It's a long way, I get it, but that would be super special to have some racers from Mexico come. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it all comes down, right? Have purse will travel. So if if the money's there, everybody's going to come and do it, especially for the opportunity. Because I think a lot of people were skeptical this year, weren't really sure what to think or how big it would be until they start seeing the semi-loaded of cars and like, oh shit, like I missed out. And then,
Definitely.
you know, it wasn't a small payout. I mean, it was definitely nice, good money for everybody.
Yeah. No, we can add to that. It looks like. So no, it's all about getting the people there. That's what I felt about it more. You know, as a promoter, you're always like, well, do I put some more in the purse? Do I put some more? How do I make this attractive? And to me, it was by putting the class 11 community together. So in order to do that, we would just rather have it so that some of the transportation was taken care of, and we could provide the space, and we could do a couple of things. So it worked out. I mean, worked out really well, I thought.
Yeah, and I think now if we get the contracts in place we talked about on the business side of stuff, it'll really help us plan and budget for the future and get, you know, plan for 22's budget.
Yeah, I mean, you know, unfortunately, I'm like on the promotional marketing side, I'm a one-man band, so all this, it's the same, always the same challenge. But I much more prefer working on execution, and because if I execute, then there's no discussion about what, you know, we know what we're going to do. We do it every year. And it just doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't matter if it's Polaris or Empty or anybody. Sometimes it takes a while. I mean, you know, but with the show always goes on and always goes bigger. So that's what counts.
I think it was good for us too as a learning curve. You know, we didn't know. I didn't know what to expect. You know, when you got there, as far as just the logistics of it all, who and what, when, what time restaurants are closed. You know, where can we get food, grocery shopping. It turned into the Hunger Games around our Airbnb for a while. We were excited when we found some top ramen, but you know, I've got guys, Tommy Smith checking in from Texas, you know, VW Life checking in out of Texas as well. Like they're going to be there. I mean, people are on it, you know, and it's in Idiot Racing already. Hey man, we're in. It's just cool. And it's infectious, right? Cause then you're like, your buddy's seeing it. And
I know guys told me that they had one race to do all year. It'd be Crandon. Just how fun. You bring your whole family, and it's an experience.
It is a learning curve, though. I mean, it's still small town America. You know, there's Crandon has like 1,900 people up there.
The one show he shows 1,920 people resident.
That's it.
And everything closes.
Everything closes. And I spent the whole summer there. I mean, I live in Southern California, but I spent the summer there this year, and you start learning that you know, only certain restaurants open certain days, and there's, you know, your rhyme or reason sometimes for it. And yeah, you can kind of figure that out. But you know, it really is kind of a camping experience. It is. That's what was missing for you guys.
Yeah, there was a few comments about the camping of Jurassic Park in the back, but some unspoken rule, like kind of like the 9th green at 9 on Happy Gilmore. It's what I felt like on that one. But yeah, we won't talk about that because it's not endorsed by Crandon.
Not officially endorsed. It's understood, but not endorsed. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's all part of it too. But honestly, in the past 10, 15 years, I mean, from what it was, it's also gotten a lot of our family base of spectators all a little bit older. You know, they're all coming with campers now. They're not necessarily coming with tents or converted school buses like we used to have, which we did. And so it's not what it used to be, really insane. Now it's not. But people love that part of it too. So you don't want to polish the diamond too much. It's a diamond, and it's a little down home, and it's a little backwoods, but that's what it is.
I think that's the rawness of it all. What really made it special there was, you know, it wasn't like let's say a popularity contest. It wasn't like, oh, I have to dress or wear this type of. It was just, dude, we're good old boys. We want to go racing, and matter of fact, we want to drink some beer, and our race broke out, and that was the cool vibe about it all. One of the common questions that I received a lot, and then Chip brought it up again too, is Marty, what kind of response or feedback from the fans about the Class 11 did you get, and was it a crowd pleaser?
Like I said, it was a roll of dice for us a little bit. You know, there's always people who aren't sure, and in the Midwest, I mean, they're used to their Midwest racing, ain't, you know, seeing Volkswagens. But you know, I got great feedback, but I saw great feedback. I saw the kids, and I saw the people jumping up and down when you guys first came down the hill on Friday night. I saw it. I was standing right in the middle of all that. And, you know, we had run the super stock trucks, which is one of the most popular classes. Then we ran Pro Bug East, which is always great on the lights, and had West Coast guys there, probably 5 or 6. And then we ran you guys kind of as a feature race Friday. And I wasn't sure. I was like, are people going to stay? I mean, I watched the hill, like, are people staying? Are they not? You know, because for some classes, you know, some of the kids' classes, the people go eat and drink. You know, that's just a fact of life, you know. But no, they came. We had a bigger Friday night than we've ever had. And a lot of it has to do with this Class 11 little program we put together. I think, I think you guys have earned your spot. I mean, if it's as popular, and we get some people building cars and coming from the Midwest or from Mexico, that just makes it better. That means that it's now the Class 11 family coming, and it's coming from everywhere. I think you can have every man's class. But the difference is, you guys are all organized in the sense of the way the transportation money went. It was not one racer asking for one thing. It was a group of racers coming in and say, look, we can, if you give us space and you give us time on the racetrack and you make it fun and worth our while, we'll come as a group. And essentially that's how it went down. Because we're pretty limited. So things like tech and those things, I can't get in the middle of that stuff. It has to be self-sustained. But for the most part, you did not. We had some challenges, but just stuff that needs to get fixed. I mean, there's things that need to be from some ways safer. The communication stuff we have to work on. There's things we have to work on, but it's not impossible to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think literally left there with just basically 5, count them on one hand of the things you'd like to work on for next year. And I think that's a very successful.
Yeah, first time there'll always be some kinks, but now we know for next year what we need to do, and I think we'll get it done.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool, and it kind of looks like we got a sleeping giant already saying he's in for next year. Rick Boyer.
Oh wow!
I mean, Rick.
Well, I know Julie had texted me, says, "Is this for real?" I'm like, "Yeah," but then she was one of those who was a little skeptical, I think. But when Crandon says we're doing something, we're doing it. It's like we're going, and there was a little bit of that. It's a long way. I understand to come. It's a long way to drive.
2,186 miles, I think, one direction.
Yeah. Nuts.
And you guys took detours a couple times. So
I think we racked up like 4,500 miles.
Yeah, that's
round trip.
A lot of money in fuel.
It's a lot of money in fuel.
And again, it was just cool how it worked out. Bucket list type of stuff. I'm just trying to go through the comments. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. What else do you think, as far as, I mean, great question too, is so VW was asking, hey, so is the main race, Class 11 race on Friday night? Absolutely not.
No, it's Sunday.
Sunday is
so Sunday is one. So how this works at Crandon Labor Day is Saturday we crown all the world champions at Crandon. So all the sportsman classes, and the sportsmen's race for their final points in Champ Off Road. Sunday, and then the pros run Saturday too, but Sunday is a non-points race. It's for the Red Bull World Cup day, and it's for all the pro classes. So they get world championship rings and medals, and then they run for the money on Sunday, and most of the time the live streaming on television too. So now the big race is putting you guys on Sunday. That's why you guys were a pro class.
The cup they built was awesome too, man. I'm not sure, was it Marco that actually
Marco from Continental Tire? It was
Marco from Continental Tire. You guys saw like one of the snippets we put on there too, but that cup was, I mean, just everything about to win a ring, to wear that. I mean, to see you and Noah, I mean, the moment you guys shared, just when you doused him with beer and whatnot, I mean, that's just good best friend grit, love racing. It was just awesome to see, and it's infectious, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, we try to make it. We take it to that level. I mean, even the medals are made
They're
by
heavy.
That's a real company that makes Olympic medals, and they're in Wisconsin. They're in Green Bay, so they're made right there in the state. And they're every racer races on your first, second, third. Get them.
Yeah. What would you like to see as a racer, either happen more or entice more, or what, just on a positive side of things?
Like a positive side, like I know this trip we cut a lot of ties and made a lot of amends throughout the whole class. I think all 13 cars and the 4 other cars came on their own. We're all pitted within walking distance of each other, stone throw away, and everybody helped each other out. You guys had parts we needed. You guys had tools. The box of tool roll was nice, and everyone helped each other, and it was just a fun time. Just getting the class all together, and that
was the comment too. Is where you guys were set up, which will change next year a little bit, making it more visible, but it was so cool to sit there and see all the cars lined up next to each other. That was rad. And then somebody had actually painted their bus with like Crandon, that light blue bus that was there.
Yeah,
JJ
from Custom Coach Works.
Super cool. That was just so cool.
They had a good haul from Colorado. They drove their
buses from Colorado.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's hardcore, man. I mean, that's
super hardcore.
That dude is V-dub as V-dub gets.
The whole family.
Yeah.
And shop.
Yeah, they live and breathe it.
Yep.
And
that was cool.
And they have the beautiful orange and blue oval.
Yep.
And,
that thing was really cool.
And it's cool because again, that's a father-daughter team. They work all day together, they doing all their stuff, and then they go out and share the memories of that last a lifetime in a bitchin' V-dub.
Yeah, that one was out of all the cars that were there, obviously I that was probably my favorite. It was beautifully done.
This guy.
They live.
It's an oval window. It has a 5 wheels on it. That's old school, man. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a show car, man.
Yeah,
I think it's nice.
It was my pick, man. It was my pick to be a sleeping giant. JJ's got to work on that motor package a little bit more and,
Yeah.
and bump some compression. He'll be there. He's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, I think so. Get him put some tubes in his tires and
Bump the
little-
compression more. And
yeah,
he's went with the little. He went with the high motor combo.
Oh, okay.
And that car is the lightest car in the class too. That car weighs 1540.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was interesting to see what you guys are up to. You probably learned some stuff. I don't know how much gearing things you can do and all the tire grooving. You can do all kinds of things.
Oh my God, the poor tire groover needs a new. I mean, we used Marcos from Crandon. We
Yeah.
had ours going. I mean, they
Yeah.
definitely got their use.
and that's cool. Marco, he helped out everybody, no matter what brand tires you ran. Everybody helped each other out. Your guys' groover, his groover. We all made sure everyone was okay for the race.
Yeah, that again, that just speaks to the whole weekend. Everybody, stepping in and doing it.
Definitely.
I'm real curious to see, how we can. I'm already like excited because I know you go 150 miles an hour. I mean, I just watched, from the boardroom stuff. I got to sit in with you guys, the TV production. It's no bullshit. It's on, and to know that you already kind of have a vision of what you want to do with that realm and where you want to go with it. I cannot wait, and I just hope we can really. I hope we can showcase everybody, right? That's going to be the hardest part because everybody wants their cars to be up front and center, and
Definitely.
at least, because it's like they want to make their sponsors happy,
Right.
and we want to make our sponsors happy, and then somebody's cutting the checks. We want them to try to just horseshoe it, whatever we got to do, double stack it,
Yep.
but we want to make sure everybody has a good time and everybody gets to feel like a freaking pro because that's really how awesome it felt because we took a lot of video content just of the fans going nuts to share it. Like, look, this is really what it was about. And I know those guys want to feel special and we all do, right?
We're all working man's class. So everybody's 9 to 5 jobs and we get treated like pros in front of all these people. It's a special feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we try to treat, we also, but even from Crandon's side, besides the money for the cup race, we still put in $10,000 into the sportsman's purse too for the guys who race there. Those sportsman racers are not any different than the class 11 guys. They just come from closer. They live in that area. But a lot of the lower classes, the buggy classes, and some obviously the side-by-side classes now. We want everybody to feel special, but there's only so much time on the racetrack, and the only way to bring outside things and like Ultra 4 new guys in is to basically run them Sunday, and that's how it's worked out.
Didn't mind it at all.
No, it was good. But Saturday night on the lights was something too that we're gonna focus in on. That rock show back there, it was going off back there. It was crazy.
It was a friggin' party on the hillside, but man, it was some awesome racing.
Yep.
And you had the way the track was laid out back there, guys. And I encourage you to go in. I think it was a Speed Sport.
Speed Sport has
Ralph Shaheen's deal. He has it on YouTube. There's some awesome coverage of that, and the jumbotron you guys had back there. It was awesome. I mean, to watch the sparks flying off the rotors and them hitting things, just those trucks are another level of nuts.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty special too. But like I said, that brings in. So this year we had, besides the 4400 class, which is obviously the unlimited class, we brought in all the classes. Well, there's guys who never dreamed of coming to Crandon either, and there they were, right front and center, and I think that one worked out well too. So that's what I mean. 408 race teams. It's a lot.
Yeah. So 408 race teams, 60,000 fans through the gates. You had 2,100 camping spots all sold out. I mean, it has to be just feel good, right? Because it's
400 I found today 400 cases of Red Bull sold. So there you go. Somebody was drinking. It's a lot of we sell a lot of beer.
What about beer? How much beer did you guys go through?
I have to look. I don't know. It's a lot.
It has to be. I mean, semi trucks loads.
It is. No, it is. Oh no,
please video
no,
that.
it's that. But it's also Mountain Dew too, right? I mean, those people love their Mountain Dew there, and the White Claw. I don't know. It's what it is.
I thought the White Claw might have been a migration from West Coast. There's a lot of White Claw flowing.
There's a lot of White Claw, a lot of brats and burgers and hot dogs too. So
no Coors Light, it's Miller Lite out there.
Yeah.
GDs. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Now we want to build out a section where we can have more upper end, beer, some local beers, whatever, and have it in this beer garden. That would be. But I want to play up the German tie-in. That's my background anyway. But that's what's cool.
Heck yeah! I mean, I know that'll. You probably could even get Fleming out there if you get Ron Fleming. Get him out there if he had some good German beer. He's kind of a beer connoisseur, also known as a snob. But yeah, it's still.
He would love that whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't think maybe he's been there years ago when they were.
He said he's been there quite a few years.
Yeah, when they were in the middle of the class 10, they would build the motors for all the buggies there. But I know there was a couple. I don't know. I saw Adam Wickett at Bark River, and he was there. He does all our engines for our race team too. So he was excited about getting back into it. So it was all good.
I think I'm really hoping, I should say, that we're gonna rattle some of the old school cats to come out and get things going. So Lucas Hand is a regular on the show.
Yep.
And Lucas has been around the game a long time, multiple generation, and he's like, "Hey man, the tire wars could break out in the class." Again.
there was some of that, yeah. I wasn't privy to all the things that went on, but I knew Marco was back there grooving. I knew that. He's spending all the time back there doing that. So,
but I'd love to see like where we get guys like Continental, and we do Yokohama on our race cars and stuff like that. But I'd like to see BFG come in and just, can you imagine get like
cool,
like the draw the different attention into it and
be a tire war in the class. That'd be cool.
Well, you saw the tires that were there. We had I think 11 manufacturers there, 10 or 11. So that whole racer row was full of nothing but tractor trailers. I mean, from all the different tire companies. The only one that wasn't there was BFG, frankly.
Yeah,
but they're hopefully going to come back soon. I'm a BFG racers for 30 years, so I'm all about it. My race cars are all BFG, classic branded, retro looking. So hope they come back.
I have another quick question, and then I have one behind that. It says, what are some of the most common parts that broke or repairs that needed to be done? So,
well, we had 2 motors blow up, but that's had nothing racing, to just bad luck.
Yeah, those were 2 fluke incidents, by the way.
Yeah.
So, 1 year valve cover.
Yeah, I rolled my car last race and tweaked the body, and just hitting those jumps, man, just kissed the valve cover the right way and knocked it off, and no way to tell until it was too late.
Yeah, and then we had another guy where a bolt broke and came apart, but I still think you over-revved it. But that's all right.
I saw one that had to hold the case in the top.
Well, there was 2 of them, 2 giant,
right in the center.
I saw it. Yeah. I saw one.
Other than that, though, I mean, nobody really broke fenders. I mean, that's just
carnage. Yeah,
that's just, those are offers to the gods. I mean, flat tire. I mean, nobody really broke a ball joint that I know of, or tie rods or steering boxes. I mean, that's the neat part about this class, guys. And I keep telling it over and over again. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but they really are simple. I don't want to say dumb machines, but I mean, it's a simple machine that you can fix it.
Yeah, that was the common misperception. It's like, Marty, you sure these guys are going to make it around here? I'm like, these guys, look, I built these before, and these guys raced 1,000 miles in Baja was technically the same car. So this racetrack's nothing. This is simple.
Yeah. If your car is built right and it's prepped, no low maintenance at all, besides race carnage. But
yeah, I mean, good example. We haven't got our cars back yet. Ryan brought them down today on the rig. We're literally gonna clean the cars, nut and bolt the cars, put the off-road skid plates and bumpers back on the car, and we race desert next weekend. And that's it. I mean, we're not gonna service accident. We did a full prep before the event, and they're gonna go right back out and do work next weekend.
Yeah, I believe it.
So get out there and do it. Is there a preferred year range on the Beetle in Class 11? It really comes down to personal preference and what you want to do with it, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. Most prefer an IRS car, which is, I think, the best way to go, which is 69 and up. But a lot of guys like the swing axle, like Project Stinkbug and JJ. They have light cars, and all's preference pretty much.
I mean, even Sletton Richards got a swinger too. So
I haven't heard of him. Must be retired or something.
Or maybe they spell a little differently. Retired. Yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
But who is that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the rules you have to have the chassis and has to match the body, right?
Correct.
Essentially, that serial number year, is that how it works?
Yeah. So VW Life. I mean, I didn't even prompt Marty on that one, and I know your situation. So this group of guys out of Texas want to go build an off-road Class 11, but they end up buying like an IRS car with an early body on it. So it's like, just sell it. You'll find another one. Go buy a 72 and be done with it. No supers.
Yep.
And start fresh. Dang it, we lost it scrolled up. I was trying to find out another one. Armando Ventura chiming in. Very cool to see him. Thanks for chiming in on this one. Said proud of Noah. He had no hope on going to Crandon and made it possible to be on the podium both days. So
yeah, that was cool. Yeah. That's another cool story.
That was a Cinderella story there.
Tell us a little about it.
So pretty much, Noah, he's a good kid, budget racer, and he didn't have all the money and time to fix his car the right way. And after Glen Helen, he blew up a motor, and pretty much it was Armando Ventura, George Ventura. They had the great idea to let's get some guys together, pitch in some money, pitch in some parts, and help Noah with his car. And Noah had his car at my house, so I was like, oh yeah, that's great. Let's all tackle it and help Mike Cody, Joel Moore, Venturas, Boyer, Josh Felix, my dad, Dave Coate. We all pitched together and pretty much rebuilt his car for him, built him an engine, and he drove the wheels off it. He got first place on Friday. It was a good feeling knowing that everybody pitched in to get him there.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
it paid
Yeah,
back.
that was cool. That was another great story. Now, what's the situation with the rules? Do they stay? Is there any changes coming? Sorry.
It was talked about all the racers, that's pretty cool. Like, Cisco Bio, he's an excellent driver. He's really fast, and he usually hangs out by himself, does his own thing.
Yep.
And him being there with us, like, we were partying, drinking beer together. We're all talking, and we all came together that we should make a Pro 11 rule.
Yeah.
Just to make it easier.
Just for Crandon kind of deal.
Yeah. All I know, I remember building the car we did, and the problem we had was, sourcing good drums at that time. We couldn't find them. So the Norris rules were just open. You could do whatever you want, which is why I went to the disc and the, steering box and the throttle arms and did the whole thing that way. It was basically a 1600 car underneath of it. But I was just kind of curious to see what, if that was, I know that the beauty of it is it's the same, but I know there's also parts issues and things too that you guys have to overcome. So I don't know.
Definitely.
I think we all agree we don't want to get too carried away with it, but there's
all.
some simple things that we would like the racers to discuss and guys that are racing consistently, not once a year, because it doesn't make any sense, but guys that are out there chasing a championship, that are going, 4 races or more a year kind of vibe. And I think there's a few things that are open for discussion, and some stuff just needs to evolve with the time of the car, right? There's been a fan shroud rule in place, which is like just asinine. I mean, it really is, there's no benefit to it, right? And they've been squashed. So it calls on the rule book, no empty fan shroud. Why?
Yeah. And it's not to benefit not a single person or single team. It's for help out the whole class.
The cost. Everything comes down to the cost. On this,
always. And that's what we were wondering too. It's like, why am I going to go that? We had a swing car. So why are we going to go try to find spindles when I can put a set of whatever on there, a small set of sand car spindles or throttle set, and they'll live forever. You never have to worry about them. That was kind of some of my questions when I built the car. Like, well, this seems like it's more expensive and more work to do it this way. But again, you want to stay traditional. You want to. I mean, they always say do great things. The cars are pretty amazing the way they are.
Yeah, we got to keep it close and competitive for sure. Leave the basic rules themselves, but all the nitpick rules. I definitely agree. There's some room we could all come together as a class and help.
Yeah, like I remember that at the Baja 1000, we had to run it. We essentially had to run a different car class because we had a pro-am shifter in it. We put a different shifter in it. Yeah, the regular race shifter like we all use, and just because it was cool, because we could. But it was, it technically, I guess, against rules. We didn't read it that way, but we had to run a separate class, which we did. But it seemed like, is that really a performance advantage? I don't know, but hey, the class is the class, And
I think a lot of times it just needs to be discussed. And again, Lucas Henning chiming in right now says if some of the old guys would just get out of the 1980s, it'd be a lot easier.
Definitely.
And it's not necessarily like, it's not a derogatory way to say it or anything else. It's just more about, man, like your drums are getting harder to deal with. I mean, even with the evolution of our product line, it's still tough, right? But simple things like wheels. That's probably the number one thing we're consuming wheels every single race.
Yeah, we got approached by a wheel manufacturer now to come in and help the class 11s too. So I got to follow up with him too. But
I mean, Raceline Wheel came out with a new aluminum 4-lug deal, and we sell a lot of the 5-lug ones because they're great for Porsche. They're great for any other 5-lug car. I mean, they're everywhere. We sell a ton of them.
I just hope they work with my stock lug bolts.
Yeah. But
that's the thing. Why if there can be an upgrade like that is cost effective over the long run, it would seem to me to make sense. I mean, did you guys break a lot of wheels there?
No, luckily you guys' course is pretty groomed. There's no rocks or big holes.
There are. There's rocks.
No, we got a couple that took some damage, but I mean, even JJ destroyed a wheel too.
Yeah.
So because there's some, we got on video, there's a couple, like when you hit the corner, there's a couple, there's some damn boulders that come up out of that thing sometimes, especially when
we should see how much we chase that all summer long. Yeah. We're constantly going rock picking to get rid, because it's basically on a quarry, and with them trying to find clay to bring back in it. I mean, that track is a constantly maintained thing by Cliff Flannery, and I mean that's what separates it too. But it's a lot of work, especially there. I mean, everybody doesn't understand. I wish sometimes I could take Crandon and put it somewhere else so that it So we don't have to worry about the weather and the weather beating it, the signs take. I mean, it is a brutal environment up there in the wintertime.
Yeah. I think like all our Snap-on tools we had just sitting overnight had a rust on them just from the air and the mist in the air. It was something else.
Wow. Yeah. But I'll tell you, it all made it worthwhile when you pulled up and you saw the damn sign in the morning every day.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, are we really like
Through the
pinch
fog.
yourself and the fog and the drizzle?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is fuel provided to the racers or is it a force sell at the track? This is if you're running the low comp combination, it's 91 octane gas. I ran to the local Steak and Shake or filler up pump shack and got a case of waters and
But VP is there too. If you want race fuel, they're there too.
yeah, I was gonna say if you have the high comp combination, the VP is the way to go.
Yep, and they were there. They're there every race.
Very cool.
Mhm.
So JJ didn't have to go searching too far.
No.
What could either the fans do or potential racers to take it to the next level for the show or for Crandon itself?
I mean, I think there's a lot we can do, but again, it's all a matter of realizing limitations of how it works. It's probably what it is. My biggest client and the most amount of work I do is for Crandon. It's almost a full-time thing now, but it required me to be there all summer just to make sure everything happened. The thing that always helps us is if you guys come in as a group and you have some ideas and you want to implement them. Great. I mean, I didn't mind reaching out to some people to try to get some support. They did, and that was kind of later in the game. I mean, until Marco said, "Hey, I'm Continental Tire will back this with this amount of money to the travel," and then I talked to you. Then it became a real thing. Before that, it wasn't. I mean, it was a great idea, but again, I have to be careful as a promoter not to extend an invitation like that and have like 5 cars show up. That's when that's the concern, right? So it got a little later in time, but now we're announcing this now. We're going to move forward, so we have some time to get some things together. But
no excuses. 30 cars next year. Let's
Hell
make it.
yeah! You guys heard I can't get 30 cars, but Crandon class 11 2022.
We did 17 in pretty much 2 months, a month. Travel across the country.
Yeah, I know. You guys did a phenomenal job. That was the payoff too, to see, all the cars there. I mean, again, if this is a world championship and you guys are coming, you got to come, and they all did. And you guys put on a great show. I think there were some things we can do to work on the timing and scoring and some of the safety stuff. But that was all detailed stuff that we can work out. And you guys have to obviously come back and feel once that's over and now we can figure that out, then it's gonna be really simple, really fun, and really easy. So
I think it's pretty simple for the most part. You guys catered us pretty well, helped us out, and made sure we had all the right track time and everything we needed to do. So thanks to you guys.
Yeah, well, Crandon's about hospitality. That's what it
really is.
It really is. That's the secret sauce of it all. We tend to really try to make sure that everybody who's coming, from fans, they have a great show, to our racers, everybody's there, and they all love it. I mean, they all want to come back. So we're doing something right, I guess.
All right, so we got a couple of questions coming through, and I knew it wouldn't be long until we got this question. He's already nervous, like, what the hell is he gonna say next? We're getting along. Is the 5/1600 class being considered for next year?
No.
There's your answer.
No. Because again, there are other buggy classes there. You have to remember that. I mean, the thing that makes the class 11 special is, they can be identified as a Volkswagen.
That's what started it all.
That's what started. I mean, and I built my first car as a
you.
Baja bug. It's not like I didn't have them. I did race them too, but I think we have to kind of narrow this down, because otherwise you start getting into the other desert classes. And for the most part, you got to remember that the short course guys and the short course the sportsman pros, they put on a great show. That's what they do. I've been to races where there's been desert cars there in the early core days. They had class 1 and trophy trucks, and they didn't do anything. They were just not built for that. So I think if we just focus down on this, it's the right thing to do for right now.
And I got another one. What about class 9? Probably not. I think there's some close stuff to the buggies. You guys can.
Yeah, they can throw it in limited buggy or light buggy, whatever they call it out there.
Yeah.
Single.
Yeah, there's a class that's similar. I don't know if the engine size are the same, but they run back there too.
Yeah, I think it's light buggy.
It's light buggy. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still learning this whole thing too, so we're figuring it out.
The rules are a lot different from out west for sure.
Yeah.
You could. I mean, I'm sure you could take a 9 car out there and go out and battle.
Yeah.
You can. I'm sure in light buggy you could. Yeah, I think some of them were class 9 cars originally. So yeah.
Good question too. Do you remember what the total, like what the payouts were for first, second, and third? Or
The total purse was with the gentleman's contribution was $7,500. And I think originally we'd set it at 5,000. I think Cisco won 2,500. I think it was 2,500, 15. Well, I'll have to look. There's so many classes I have to do all the payouts for, but the final purse was $7,500 for Sunday. That's how we stacked everything to Sunday.
Yeah, and again, I think it's just only going to get bigger and better.
Yeah.
Like to see, like I said, for those of you guys that are racers now, and you have those friends, those shops, those guys that are brick and mortar guys, you know, KCW and all those other ones, go out and start putting it out there. I'm gonna bug Boxo. I'm gonna tell those guys that we want to be a part of this. Let's make it happen. Let's make it big. I'd love to see. I would love to see like another $20,000 purse for next year. That'd be sick, and that will draw cars from Mexico.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
money talks for us.
We've got. Yeah, well, you know, but again, what's different about this than all the other things that I do is that this class came about and it became instantly taken care of in terms of the funding part of it. You know what I mean? And then I made a couple calls to a couple of people, but this is almost like a self-contained little unit of racers here that bring in their own money and their own purse. Well, that makes it a lot more attractive. If the track starts getting too favored one way or the other, then it's not fair to the sportsman guys, and we don't want that either, because they run too. So it's all good, but you guys are coming kind of as your own show, and you know, it was a great show for the track to have, and it was a lot of fun. That's for sure.
I know we're not afraid to go ask for some money sometimes.
Nope.
No, but you know, the good part of Crandon, you're giving a lot back. I mean, we had all the live streaming guys were all over that.
No, and I thank you for the content, because guys, we got some great stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. So you know, with that and the purse, I mean, it was great.
It's pretty cool when you have family back home and friends that text you pictures, watching you on TV, like, hey, we're rooting for you. Good luck. You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you're racing in front of, you know, essentially 60,000 people. So that's something too.
Yeah. And tell people some of the numbers you guys get on your live streams and your feeds.
I haven't looked this year. It's a lot. I mean, we've probably, I don't know, because we have every show from Sunday, including you guys, are going to be on MAV TV. That's all becoming cut now too. So it's a half an hour show just on Class 11. But it's in the, you know, it's, I think we were 1.4 million or something last year.
You guys hear that, right? So you're building your cars. This is your chance to show that you've got, number one, you got content, you got it on a major network, and you're going to have over 1 million views, 1.4 million views, 1.5 million, probably, if you start getting all the totals of the Facebook stuff and everything else. I mean, as a marketing guy and as a business minded guy, if you don't start building your deck, go back to one of our previous shows where we had Cameron Foray, marketing specialist, talk about building a sponsorship deck to help build that car and get yourself showing right. Because I'm telling you, the days of slapping a sticker on your car and getting a $500 check are going by the wayside. Of Billy's Buggy Shop or whoever else is. It's just, we got to evolve with business, right?
Right. Well, that's, and you know, I talk about the hospitality. That's all part of it. I made sure that, you know, the track paid extra to have the crews there for Friday night and Saturday night, our production crew, and Sunday. So we guys live streaming for everybody, because they basically handle Champ Off Road. And it's like, okay, well, these other classes aren't part of our deal. So, you know, we had to work. They're great to work with. We had to work out something, but there was no way I was not going to have live streaming from every race we had there. So we live streamed everything, and the parade we live streamed too.
Oh, the parade's a whole nother animal. But on the content and the creation, shout out to you guys and whoever you're hiring for the drone pilot.
Drone pilot's rad.
That's a badass mofo on the
he is, you know, it was a crazy deal. So in 2019, one of our best photographers said, hey, Marty, I got this crazy drone racer kid. And I saw him and he looked like a drone racer kid. He said, but this guy's just like a race, but he's like a champion. I'm like, okay, let's run him. Let him film Bryce Menzies for a lap during a race. I'm like, okay, Saturday night, put him up and let him do 2 laps and see what it comes back. The footage we saw, well, first of all, was a perfect golden hour, you know, perfect, beautiful light. And then the drone pilot comes in and shows me what this is. I'm like, oh, I'm just blown away. It looked like a video game. And then Red Bull used him, and then Champ Off Road hired him last year. And he's spectacular. They're really good.
Cool way to parlay it. I mean, but the drone footage is sick.
Yeah.
I mean, he could, I'm sure, fly it right into the back window of one of our cars.
He could. Yeah, he's that good. And there was 2 guys flying on Sunday. I had two guys running it. So
it's just such awesome footage, man. And
you got to work with Ralph Shaheen and Ken Stout, and
I wasn't in the seat, which I loved. I'm a competitor, man. No matter what, it's pushing a shopping cart in the grocery store or whatever. I bleed competition. Due to some unfortunate events, I'm not able to be in the car at the moment, but to be up in the booth, against two of the greatest, man, not against them, but with them, two of the greatest, and being elbow to elbow, and it was just a cool experience. And there's some things I would love to have done different, right?
Sure.
But and we were still learning the whole class. I mean, went from to having a competition to not having a competition yellow, and listen to the headset and trying to get a word in edgewise and do it without it was difficult. So
who announced Friday night? Was it the Champ Off Road guys?
Yeah,
it must have been right.
And then
Shane and
yes,
Brent.
Shane was begging for a ride. I'd love to get him in one. We tried to work it out. Just a pretty young girl took the spot the morning of. So but next time we'll get him out there. That was one of the things that I noticed a lot. I'm sure you had a bunch of it, but everybody wanted to go in it. Once they saw him, like, this looks like too much damn fun. Like, I got my gear back here. I'll borrow whatever I need to do. Get me in one of these things.
Yeah, well, the 2-seat rule or the 2 driver co-driver rule, that has to stay, because that's
got to stay.
Has to.
That's just the fun part of it all, right? That's what's cool, is you can take somebody ride with you. So,
just to echo that, I mean, it really does parlay a lot. I mean, it's you guys may have seen it, the Magnus Walker TV show that we just released with them on Haggerty, and it just resonates that. I mean, it's the fun side of stuff. I mean, I know how I get when Cameron's with me. We're like 2 grown-ass kids in that thing singing. We're doing Mario Brothers sounds. We're doing what Sanford and Son. It don't matter what it is. We're always doing something. And that's part of the fun of the class. And again, it goes, whether you got to color the car, it's an expression of your personality and what you're into.
Yeah.
When you're with your best friend in the car, like just having a time of your life, and like, oh shoot, dude, watch out.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty smooth. Just crazy what these cars take, and having someone with you just it proves a point. And,
how was Marco? Was he surprised?
He was really surprised. Yeah. He I know he had a lot of fun, and he's crazy how much competition is in the whole class, door to door, every turn.
How do you feel? And this is just my own, again, these are all hip from questions. How do you feel about, let's say a Travis Pastrana or a Tanner Faust or a Bryce Menzies getting in one of these things and then coming to battle with is like,
dude, that'd be pretty cool. I know Travis, he was supposed to get my car, but he kind of, I don't know. I don't think he wanted to get hurt, but these cars are safe, man. I mean, they're bulletproof, and you'll have tons of fun.
Yeah, we got to get them in the cars. Yeah. So definitely, I know we talked about this. We had a chance to get it in there, just couldn't iron out the details.
That fire up the fans for sure.
Yeah, like I said, doing actually a race would be cool. Where they were the new guys and then them, or you guys were switching seats or something. That'd be super fun to do.
Yeah.
GP style.
That'll hype up the class too. See these pros getting in a stock Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing, right? Long game for us and business wise, you have to keep reinvigorating the pool of people into V-dubs, right?
Got to keep it interesting.
So if Travis Pastrana, then we'll just use him just because he's there. And, if he validates that, Herbie's cool as hell to get out there and go out, and he's literally telling me like how much fun he freaking had, hopefully that's going to bring in new blood, right? There's a lot of older guys that are in this generation and stuff like that. We've got to keep it new and it's fresh and exciting. It's like, and I've stressed this, like, I don't want to forget where we came from, right? I don't want to do that. What we're trying to do now is we've got to refill that pool, because those guys are stopped racing, right? And we've got to, whether you're racing in class 11 or whether you're building a street class 11 like some of the guys do, just we need you to build Volkswagens. That's how we're going to stay in business and keep the sport and hobby and everything that we do about it. We got to keep it going.
Yeah, but I think that the universal appeal of the car is the way it looks. You guys, the bumpers and the fenders, they look. That's why the 516 thing wouldn't work for us necessarily, because now we're breaching into the sportsman stuff. But everybody saw those, and a lot of guys came up and were like, "Yeah, that's basically a blight buggy right there. We could just take the parts and build one." Like, yeah, basically could.
I have an interesting question that came for you, Ryan, and I don't know. I think this is an opportunity.
Really?
It says, "Hey Ryan, do you have a drive for the 1000 yet?"
I do not.
Well, there you go. It looks like this is from Idiot Racing.
Really?
So Idiot Racing may be looking for co-dog, maybe share some time in the driver's seat, but pretty sick.
Interesting.
So
pretty cool.
Be kind of cool.
You gotta want it, baby. Class 11 in the Baja 1000 is a whole other conversation. I've raced 15 Baja 1000s, never in a class 11.
I think that's hardcore.
I don't know how they do it.
You guys and how the crews do it, because they're up for it days. I mean, when I was in class one, we were done early.
Yeah, 4 hours. You're like,
or Nora,
Nora,
you race 5 hours and you're done by 3 o'clock or whatever, and it's a lot easier. But how the class 11 guys and their crews do it, I have no idea. They're hardcore, man.
I look at guys like Eric Salazano that have been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And, a little long in the tooth these days, and still out there just grinding it out and taking the 24, 23 hours of abuse on the body.
Yeah.
It's like,
and if you look at it, we're not pro teams, millionaires. We don't have no chase trucks. We're a group of guys that get together, all their friends, and pull all our competitors in. Like, hey, let's go race 1,000. You go here, you go here. We, it's rough for us to get to the finish.
It's truly the man in the machine, and I think that's what's so raw and what's intriguing about the car itself, because everybody said, you said it, you're like, oh, they're surprised. Everything once they get in one of these cars, they're surprised. And what they're able to do. I tell everybody, it's like a little goat, man. These things, you just point them, they'll go.
Yeah.
People see the videos, be like, ooh, it looks rough. Come sit in it. It's like a couch.
Yeah, no, the one thing though, it's a, the problem or the challenge for the class 7 guys is just the courses down in Mexico are just getting so rough. I mean, there was rough when I was racing back, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And then there's rough, like now, the big, all-wheel drive, 40-inch tires, 1,200 horsepower. I mean, it's rough. So what was rough back in the day is rougher now. It makes it tougher.
Yeah. And, our team, the Negrete, they were down the pre-run and said, this is probably the roughest course they've ever been on for the 400 next weekend. It's brutal. So like to see it. Love short course. Like, what you're getting the next corner every single time. There's definitely some dodging. One of the things that continues to resonate through the show and just while out there was the amount of memories that it made for a lifetime. Guys like Mike from Idiot Racing getting to do it with his dad, and you just the road trip, and then you look at Dennis Sletton getting to race with his 2 sons, and Dennis's brother had passed away just a year and a half ago or so, and they put the ashes of his brother in there to go, and they overnighted him to make it. There's so many cool stories to it, whether it's them or Ryan or KCW with the father-daughter deal. I mean, Brooke and her dad. It's truly a family gig. Yep. And we know we talk about it, we know we share about it, it doesn't do it justice, because it really is just,
if you look at it,
just memories just strung together constantly the whole time.
We're pretty much all family race teams out there, and all of us together are one big dysfunctional family. Whole class.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, but Crandon's made for memories too. I mean, there's people who scattered ashes in turn 1, unbeknownst to us. I've heard the stories, and my grandfather came here. They get the same camp spot every year. It's 3rd generation now. This is one of the things that they do is Labor Day Crandon on the grass in their camp spot, just having a good. I bet a lot of people don't even leave their campers.
That parade was insane though.
The parade.
Oh my
God. The parade is something special.
It's I don't even know what to say. That's some of the things you can't describe or put into words to even bring it to the magnitude of really what the event was about, and what it means to the town, what it means to the state, I'm sure for multiple reasons, but just the community around it. It doesn't matter. When we're coming down the back road, we watch the dude loading up his old rusted out Suburban mud crawler, who knows what it's called, and that thing was on a float like Macy's Day Parade, and they had the shit-eating grin, and it was just cool, because it doesn't matter what you have.
No,
whether it was a kid on a 50 dirt bike or you had a badass pro truck, everybody was welcome with open arms, and everybody want to talk to you about your car.
The Yeti riding the shark on top of a party bus.
With spinners.
Yeah, we get all that, but that's a 52nd year of that parade too, and it's been part of it from the beginning. And it's great to get the racers you force them to go downtown. You guys got to come and we're not going to worry about racing this morning, Friday morning of Labor Day. We're going to go downtown and have fun.
That parade was something else.
Yeah, it's something else, man. And this is the first year we live streamed it. So
really,
yeah. So Ralph and Ken were down there with our set, and we can do that better too. But it was it's Lucas's first year doing it, and they loved it. And it was something special this year. There was a lot of people down there. It was really busy.
I know Dennis Sletton said it outdid the Mint Parade for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it went on forever.
Just because
I shit my pants a little bit when I heard the gunshot thing going off. I didn't expect that. And as West Coast going, oh boy, we're going to hit the deck here a little bit.
Yeah. Guns are part of it.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell's going on over here? But then I finally saw that there was that. What is that?
Oh, the Woody.
Please explain that to me.
So Woody was a car that was built somewhere else for some other event. And they called Crandon and sold it to him. And it's basically almost looks like the Flintstones mobile, right? It's like a truck, but it's all out of wood, and there's like wooden logs for wheels, and so it kind of bangs.
They're not round.
Yeah, they're not round.
No,
but the two guys that drive it are shooting guns, or Gopher and Tom May, and they're part of our board, and they get dressed up with their wives every year, and that's what they do, and that's still that car sits there for nothing more than the parade. It's just for the parade.
Throwing out badass copper cups too, man. That was cool.
Yeah,
but it doesn't do it justice, man.
It does not.
That's why we're so super excited for this show to just sit down with you guys, talk about it, to even just to give you a snippet of really what the show really did mean for memories, for everything else, and again, this whole desert, this dirt racing is all new to me. I was a dirt bike guy at an early on age, did the desert stuff, but that was the gist of it, right? It was all free ride and some races here and there, but I've always been drag racing. So to go from that and into this whole thing is just, it's all new, and it's new memories for me, and it's new memories for my squad and what we're doing here. And it just, thank you. That's all I can say, man. What a hell of a time it's been. It's been an awesome ride so far.
Yeah, no, that's what makes all the hard work and the hours and the month or a summer away from my wife worth. Well, it's not quite worth that, but
we'll edit that out. Don't worry.
No, but I'm saying is the creating memories, bringing people together, bringing racers from around the country who never thought they could race there before, and enjoying that Crandon experience, which is a unique unto itself Labor Day. Then that's what makes it worthwhile to see, because it's nothing but good most of the time.
I definitely think our class is an uproar right now. All the big events and opportunities we're getting from Crandon or King of the Hammers, we're thriving right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've been invited back to King of the Hammers 2022, so there's 2 races. That's everything else could just chill by the wayside.
Yep.
Well, but that's kind of the point. I mean, it's great to be able to go have like Dave Cole and the Ultra 4 guys racing back east with us too, because that's kind of how this is supposed to be, right? I mean, it's been the domain for short course for a long time, and still is, but there's nothing wrong with adding a little bit of flavor here, and it's what we're doing.
Heck yeah. One of our own, I think he's trying to jam me up in here. MP Adrian asking, said, is Corey invited back in the booth next year? So that's he was jamming me up on it.
Yeah, I think you did great announcing. You know the whole class, and
yeah, I mean, you have to have
spotlight.
That. Yeah, we bring in Ultra 4 people too, because they know the racers. It's part of it, but we control the live stream, the broadcast. Sunday is all ours, so we can kind of bring in who we want. And it was nice that their guys, the Champ Off-Road guys, came in and sit down with you guys Friday night too. I missed that detail, but I'm glad it worked out.
Oh, those guys were awesome. And Idiot Racing says driver number 3, Baja 1000. If you want it, it's yours.
I'm in.
There you go, guys.
Man, that was easy.
I don't think there's no other answer to that.
No, there isn't.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's just cool to turn it in. Now we got to get you back in an 11 for a stretch.
Well, we'll see. Somebody said, well, Marty, we can build one, but I can't, don't have time to race it there. Yeah. So that's a bummer. We'll try to, we may build one here. I got a hankering.
Good one here for you, Marty. Brian Walentine says, if it wasn't for Marty, I would have never raced the Baja 1000 in class 11.
Brian was a big part of the program back in the day. That's true. Yep.
And then, I appreciate a couple of good other comments there, but man, I mean, what an awesome, or to have been an hour and 15 minutes, guys.
Oh crap.
That's the fun part of the show is it really just time flies when you're having a great time and hanging out with good friends. Any parting comments, words of wisdom you want to share with us before we get out of here?
No, I mean, look, it all looks glamorous, but it's all hard work. And, you know, it is. And it always gets down to that, always gets down to hard work. And I just want to, you know, appreciate you, but you guys did not much time. What you put together around was amazing to get the guys there. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of all of it, but I do know it was a lot of hard work. And I'm glad that hard work paid off in the kind of reaction and the, you know, it's a week, it's been a week now. You're like, man, that was a great time. That's all I can ask for. You know, the hard work paid off.
Yeah. I mean, big kudos to you and your pops for making this happen. Chip, I know you're watching this. Thank you. Because I mean, you guys made everything get there in one piece. And once we unload, we'll see what the damage is. We'll look at it and see. But you know, it was just good, man. It was cool to just break bread with everybody and hang out. And
yeah, it was a great time. Helped out the class so much.
I think it really did.
It did.
And we're looking forward to it. So guys, again, can't stress it enough. Get your shit together.
Yep.
Save those vacation days.
Labor Day weekend 2022.
First weekend in September.
Yep.
Always the same.
So you've got plenty of time to save up the vacation days, to start socking a couple bucks of paycheck away to get yourself out there. And you know, I know we're going to do our best we can to make it bigger and better. I know Continental will, and all our new partners that are going to be stepping on board, like hopefully Boxo Tools and so on and so forth. And we'll make it special. Yeah.
Rugged Radios put in some of the purse money too. So they're great. So
now we need Rugged to get a car. I'd like to see get Greg back out there and
there was, I think, was it Robert Johnson?
Yeah, Rob Johnson.
Yeah, so was the Rugged guy. It was very cool to see him out there too. So
he's just everybody from all walks of life in the class that's all there. So that was the fun part of it. But man, awesome to sit down with you guys, hang out with a legend, hang out with an up and comer, and it's just cool. And I appreciate everything you guys do, and looking forward to 22, baby.
Yep.
So I'll close out with you guys. Eddie, awesome job today, man. I know you were just trying to monitor everything on the boards and whatnot, and keep us straight, keep the sound quality good. But man, I mean, are we gonna reach you out there next year?
I mean, if I can get out there,
come on,
I gotta hold the fort down when he's gone. That's a problem.
We're gonna leave you guys a little clip here that Marty shared some great footage with us, and we're gonna continue to share some of the stuff in the upcoming weeks and whatnot. But just sit back, relax, chill, and enjoy the clip, guys. All right, guys. I don't know about you, but if that don't pump you up, and look at the mayhem, the first corner, and to be able to write history. You know, one of the things we never really touched on in the show was we got to write history, and that was what made it more special to me than anything else, was that Impy and Continental Tire got to be the first in 52 years of Crandon history to race as its own class, standalone class. Yep. And that's just powerful.
Yeah, I mean, there were Volkswagens there in the beginning for sure. You have pictures of even the wall where the Beatles were there, but yeah, it was the first time, and it was the right time.
So we got some of our Mexico friends checking in, saying, "Hey man, the Vultros are going to be there for Mexico next year." So let's hope it happens, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Thank you so much for making the time, for coming all the way down, for flying in to come hang out at the studio, and it's badass. I can't wait to see it, and looking forward to 22, Marty.
Just wait.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And we'll be back next week, 3 o'clock. You know the channel. Make sure you subscribe and like our YouTube, and we'll see you guys next week.